Do not let them pick that pencil up at the bottom. That makes a messy letter. I don't want them to pick up their pencil when they're making those little lines. That can create a messy letter. That corrects the reversal immediately. Hello, and thanks for watching. I am a certified handwriting specialist and a pediatric occupational therapist, and I've been helping kids with their handwriting and their teachers teach the handwriting for over 18 years. If you find value in these videos, share, like, and subscribe to this channel, and be sure to watch to the end for some extra tips.
Please watch to the end.
In this series, I'm walking us through a systematic way to teach handwriting that actually works. Today, we're talking about starting corner capitals. It's important to teach children where to start their letters. Capital letters all are the same size, they're all in the same space, and they all start from the top. Children sometimes struggle because they're starting from the bottom, and that's another issue. Sometimes when they're starting from the bottom, it's because they're not using their helper hand. If they're not using their helper hand to stabilize the paper, then they're using their writing hand to stabilize the paper. So if they're using their writing hand to stabilize the paper, they're going to hold the paper and they're going to start from the bottom. Boom, boom, boom. That's a problem. So it's important to teach kids to use their helper hand and start from the top when they're writing. Once they start from the top, then things become more systematic. It's not just all over the place. So the corner starting capital letters are the letters that start at the corner, similar to the frog jump letters, but in the frog jump letters have a big line down, and then they frog jump back up to the top. Now the starting corner capital letters, they don't have the frog jump. They just have the big line down. And from there, there's different directions that they might go in order to create the letter. So the starting corner capitals are the letter H, K, L, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. All of those letters start at the top, and then from there, there's different places where the next letter goes. So I'll go through each letter and tell you exactly from where they go and the next sequence. So it really is important to use the same verbiage. With Handwriting Without Tears, we're keeping it simple, short phrases, big line, little line, big curve, little curve. Those are the 4 strokes that are to create any of these capital letters. So for right now, we're going to use big line and little line. The first one, H. Big line down, little line. The letter K. Big line down, little line, little line. And when I make the letter K, or when I'm teaching the letter K, I like to use little phrases so that the kids can remember. So I say, make the stick, karate kick, hi-ya! And then the kids can go, hi-ya! Or whatever they, want to do to make that karate chop. But K is for karate. Again, you're still using verbiage that the kids can be familiar with, that you teach them. So big line down, little line, little line. And when you mix it up, make the stick, big line down, karate kick, hi-ya. And one of the reasons why I say hi-ya is because I don't want them to pick up their pencil when they're making those little lines. They're not going to do a little line, pick up the pencil, and then another little line. That can create a messy letter. So big line down, bump, hi-ya. Make sure they don't pick up their pencil. The next letter, capital L. Very straightforward. Big line down, little line. Make sure they don't pick up their pencil. The next letter, capital U. It's in that starting corner position. But the capital U actually makes a big curve. So you start at the corner and make a big curve to the next corner. The letter V, same thing, starting corner. Start at the corner, slide down, big line down, big line up. When they make their letter V, make sure that they don't separate those lines. So they should not pick up their pencil. Starting at the corner, big line down, big line up. Do not let them pick that pencil up at the bottom. That makes a messy letter. And then next is the letter X. Same starting corner. Remember, we're making a motor pattern here. The kids can use these letters to get some motor recognition, motor muscle memory, however you want to call it. Big line down, big line down. When they're starting these out, it's okay to have those dots so they know exactly where to start those letters. The next letter is the capital Y. Now, since these are beginning writers, we're making the capital Y almost like a lowercase y. However, we're making it above the line. So we're going to make a little line, and then we're going to jump up and make the big line slide down. This one is not going underneath the baseline.
You forgot the W!
If your child reverses their letter Z, it's probably because they're starting in the wrong corner. So this is why it's so important to use that starting corner capital strategy. If they start in the wrong corner, they're going to start in the opposite corner. They're going to slide over, slide down, and over. That's a reversal. If the kids start from the bottom, they're probably going to start from the bottom left corner because they're stabilizing with that hand, that writing hand, and they're going to start from the bottom, and then they'll go up, and they'll go over. That's a reversal. So if you can get them to start from the top, from that corner starting top, slide over the little line, big line down, little line. That corrects the reversal immediately. Another strategy that I use is by using the happy face. If we put that happy face right there in the corner at the starting corner capital letter spot, kids need to learn that we read from left to right, from top to bottom. So if we have a happy face as a marker, then they'll know, you can say that, remember, start at the happy face. And even when they're writing, it might be in their mind, start at the happy face. Happy face is right there, even if the happy face isn't there. So in my therapy room, I would put happy faces everywhere. I'd put happy faces on the corner of the door because it draws their attention, even if they're just preschoolers and walking into a classroom and they notice that there's a happy face in the top corner of the door. It automatically draws their attention to the top left corner. We want to get them to understand that we in the United States are a top to bottom, left to right reading society. We don't read like Japanese or Chinese in vertical lines. We go from left to right and we start at the top and read down to the bottom. So that happy face is a great way to help the kids realize that is the starting corner that we start our capital letters at. Now, if you were to use Handwriting Without Tears material, you'll see the happy face a lot. And you'll also, if you use the chalkboards, notice that there is a happy face in that corner on the chalkboard. That is a very good marker, a very good visual cue for where to start your letters. Who knew that this would be very important for handwriting? If you're just joining our series, start here. I think it's here or over there, but the frog jump video is where you begin your systematic teaching for handwriting. Now, a tip that I have for you to help your kids use their helper hand is to either write on the wall. So if they're making those strokes on the wall, you can do any kind of writing on the wall. It doesn't have to be to start these corner starting letters. It just has to be something that has writing. It can even be coloring, but you want them to hold the paper down with their helper hand, and then they can color on the wall, not color on the wall, but color on the paper. They can write, and they can do whatever the assignment is. You can even have kids do serious assignments if they have a problem with holding that paper down with their helper hand. They can do math, for instance. Another little trick that I've used to help kids use a helper hand when they really have that bad habit of using their writing hand to stabilize the paper, that's when they really make those letters starting from the bottom, is to use an index card and tell them, okay, we're going to write a sentence, or I want you to copy this off the board, and this is what you're going to write on. So you use an index card. The index card is too small to stabilize with their writing hand, so they have to use that helper hand to hold the paper down. That's just for practice. So therapists in the session, you can have them use those index cards. Teachers, for an activity that you're doing for your handwriting lesson, say, okay, today we're writing on index cards. Those are all of the corner starting letters. And next, we'll talk about center starting letters. Run that back.
Contacts, battery, NNXT, cell phone, and many more. Battery.